Good afternoon and welcome to Replacement Player Baseball. The Cubs are starting out on a 6-game East Coast road trip. The first 2 games will be played in Baltimore. The final 4 games will be played at the defending World Series champion Washington Nationals. The Cubs, on their off day, got some news on the injured Nick Burdi. He was placed on the injured list a couple days ago. After consulting with a specialist, they found out that he in fact has an elbow injury and will miss 6 weeks, which will cause him to miss the rest of April and most of the month of May. Now, back to the task at hand, the game at Baltimore. The Cubs and Orioles will face off in Camden Yards today. The Cubs, for their lineup, will start out with left fielder Ian Happ as the leadoff hitter. He is going to replace Jason Hayward, who is still in the lineup but batting 8th today. It appears that David Ross has in fact grown weary of Hayward's inability to get on base in the leadoff spot. Happ, the switch hitter, will bat leadoff, followed by the second baseman Fletcher, Rizzo at first, Baez at short, Schwarber the DH, Bryant at third, Contreras at catcher, Hayward batting 8th and playing right, and Almora batting 9th in center field. The Cubs will send Chris Archer out for his 4th start of the season. He is 0-1 with a respectable 3.45 ERA and 1.15 WHIP. Feel like this guy needs a little more run support when he gets out on the mound. In opposition, the Orioles will offer a lineup of shortstop Jose Iglesias, right fielder Trey Mancini, left fielder DJ Stewart, catcher Adley Rushman, first baseman Ronaldo Nunez, third baseman Rio Ruiz, second baseman Hanser Alberto, center fielder Yusnael Diaz, and DH batting 9th Jose Rondon. The Orioles will send out Alex Cobb for his 4th start of the season. He is 0-1 with an ERA almost reaching 1 run per inning at 8.5. Let's play some baseball. Here at Camden Yards today, it is partly cloudy, 48 degrees, wind blowing in from center at 9 miles an hour. And we just got done playing the Cardinals. The Orioles, a little different bird to face the Cubs today, have Alex Cobb on the mound to face the leadoff hitter Happ. Chicago is coming in at 7-9, and Baltimore has a record of 6-9 as we are waiting for the first pitch of this game. Alex Cobb looks in with the pitch, and Happ pops it up on the infield. The shortstop is going to make that play on the mound, put away Happ for the first out. David Fletcher will now bat from the right side against the righty Cobb with 1 out and nobody on. And Fletcher hits it hard to right field. That is going to be 1 hop to the wall. He rounds first. He is heading for second. He rounds second. He is heading all the way for third. He is going to slide into third with a triple. Fletcher is safe. The Cubs have a 1-out triple in the top of the first inning. Rizzo now is the batter with Fletcher standing on third. And a medium depth fly ball should be good enough to give the Cubs the lead here. 3-0 count. Well, Rizzo checks his swing and he takes ball 4. And the Cubs now have runners on the corners with Baez up and 1 out in the top of the first inning. 3-1 count. Baez hits it hard to center field. The center fielder looks up and that is gone. Baez 440 feet to straightaway center field, and the Cubs grab a 3-0 lead. Baez with his 5th home run of the season. He is leading the team. Schwarber will now be the batter against Cobb with 1 out and nobody on, a full count. Schwarber swings and misses for strike 3. And now with 2 outs, Bryant will come up. Cubs already jumping out to a 3-0 lead. 0-2 count to Bryant. Here's the pitch. Bryant strikes out looking. Well, the Cubs get 3 runs, and the Orioles are now coming up to bat in the bottom of the 1st inning. Iglesias will be the first batter against the pitcher Archer. 1-1 count, Archer looking in with the pitch. That's a ground ball to short. Baez scoops it up, throws to first. And Iglesias is retired for the 1st out of the inning. Mancini will now bat against Archer. 2-1 count to Mancini. And that is popped up on the left side of the infield. Baez calls off Bryant and makes the catch for the 2nd out. Archer will now pitch to Stewart with an 0-2 count. And that is a swing and a miss, and the Orioles go down in order in the bottom of the 1st inning. Top of the 2nd now, Cubs up 3-0. 1-2 count to Contreras leading off the 2nd. And strike 3 swinging for Contreras. Alex Cobb appears to be in pain, and the trainer comes out to examine him. They're going to take him out of the ball game. The Orioles are going to the relief pitcher Travis Lakins. Travis Lakins? I'm not sure. He is going to come in to pitch in the top of the 2nd inning. That's really too bad because the Cubs were hitting Cobb pretty hard. But ultimately, the Orioles are going to have to burn up quite a bit of their bullpen in the 1st game of this series. 3-1 count now. Travis Lakins, the pitch. And that is ball 4. Hayward takes the walk and heads down to first. Almora will now bat with 1 out and runner on first. 0-1 count. Almora hits it on the ground to second, over to short. Shortstop covering second is not able to make the relay throw as Hayward breaks up the double play. Almora is now on first, and the Cub leadoff batter, Happ, is up to the plate. 2-2 count to Happ. Happ hits it on the ground. The pitcher covers, throws to first, and Happ is thrown out by about a step. The Cubs do not score. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Still 3-0. Cubs over the Orioles. Archer now to face Rushman in the bottom of the 2nd. 2-2 count. Archer looks in. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Archer got a little extra mustard on that one. Throws it right by Rushman, and that'll be the 2nd strikeout of the game. Nunez will now bat with 1 out, nobody on, a 3-0 count. Archer looks in, here's the pitch, and he walks him outside. Nunez heads down to first, and Ruiz is now the batter with 1 out and 1 man on. 0-2 count to Ruiz. Swing and a miss. That was actually just about the exact same pitch that he walked Rushman on, or walked Nunez on, but he used it to strike out Ruiz. Now with 2 outs, here is Alberto. 1-1 count. Ground ball to third, Bryant dives, throws to second, Fletcher covering, and the Orioles are retired in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Going out to the top of the 3rd, Cubs up 3-0. Fletcher the batter for the Cubs with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. He grounds it to second. Easy flip over to first, and Fletcher's retired for the 1st out. Rizzo will now bat. Standing in with 1 out, nobody on, and Rizzo pokes it into right field. That's going to drop in front of the right fielder for a single. Nice piece of hitting there by Rizzo. Brings up Baez, who hit a home run his last time up. 1 out and 1 man on. Full count to Baez. Baez swings and misses on a fastball that's way up high. He swung at ball 4 on that one. But that's what you get with Baez sometimes. Schwarber now the batter. He is the DH in today's game. He is hitting with 2 outs and Rizzo standing on first. 2-1 count. Schwarber pops it up on the infield. The first baseman takes a few steps in and puts it away for the 3rd out. We go now to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cubs hanging on to a 3-0 lead. Diaz, the Orioles center fielder, will now be the batter against the Cubs' Chris Archer with a full count. Here's the pitch. And he watches ball 4 go by inside. Archer walks the leadoff man. He'll now face Rondon with 1 man on and nobody out. Full count to Rondon. And that is skied out to center field. It looks like Almora's got a play. He catches it on the warning track and gets it back into the infield for the 1st out. Iglesias will now bat as the Orioles have turned over their lineup. 2-1 count to Iglesias. Popped up to left field. Happ has a long run, but he is going to get there to make that play. And there will be now 2 outs for Mancini, with a runner on first, and the Orioles trailing 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-2 count. Archer with the pitch. And there's an attempted steal. Contreras fires it down to second, and it is in time. The Cubs retire the base runner. I believe that was Diaz attempting to steal second. But he is retired for the 3rd out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And now we go to the top of the 4th, and Bryant is the batter, leading off for the Cubs with a full count. Strike 3 swinging for Bryant, and 1 down in the Cubs' half of the 4th inning. Contreras now the batter with a 1-0 count. Contreras hits it on the ground to second. Throw to first, and Contreras is retired. 2 down now as Hayward is the next batter. Hayward hits the ground the other way to second base. The second baseman fires to first again, and Hayward is retired, and the Cubs go down in order in the top of the 4th. Archer will now face Mancini in the bottom of the 4th inning, be the Orioles' leadoff hitter with a 1-1 count. And he hits it hard to left field. Happ is running. It looks like he'll have room, and he puts it away on the warning track. Well, gave that one a ride, but ultimately it was a few feet short of a home run. And now Archer will face Stewart with 1 out and nobody on. 2-2 count with the pitch. That is going to be a line drive to center field. That is going to get to the wall. Almora fires it into the cutoff man, but ultimately Stewart has a double. He is standing at second base now with Rushman the batter. 1 out in the Orioles half of the 4th inning. That is the first base hit for the Orioles. Rushman pops it up to right field. It looks like that'll be playable for Hayward. It is. The runner at second briefly thinks about tagging up and trying to go to third, but he thinks better of it. Hayward's got a pretty good arm out there in right field, and they decided not to test it. That'll bring up Nunez with 2 outs and a runner on second. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up to center field. Almora comes in, and he puts it away for out number 3. Orioles get a base runner, their first hit of the game, but ultimately they are not able to drive him in. He's stranded on second. And we go down to the Cubs half of the 5th with a 3-0 Cub lead. Almora, first batter for the Cubs. He lays down a bunt, trying to get the bunt single. The pitcher fields and throws to first, and Almora is safe on first. I guess that was a well-executed bunt single by Almora, but it looked like it went right back to the pitcher. I don't know why it took him so long to get it to first. And the Orioles will now bring in a new relief pitcher. After Alex Cobb only threw an inning and a third, Lackins actually threw 2 2/3, only allowing 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. And now Castro will be the new pitcher for the Orioles. He will face Happ with Almora on first and nobody out. Full count to Happ. Here's the pitch. And he loses Happ. That'll put runners on first and second with nobody out, top of the 5th inning, and Fletcher is now the batter with another full count. And Fletcher hits it on the ground to first. The throw goes to second. The relay back to first. That is a 3-6-3 double play for the Orioles. However, Almora advances to third, and Rizzo is now the batter with the runner 90 feet away. 0-2 count to Rizzo. Rizzo swings and misses to end the 5th inning. Cubs half of the 5th inning anyway. Go down to the bottom of the 5th, and the Cubs hanging on to a 3-0 lead. Ruiz now the batter against Archer, beginning his 5th inning of work. 3-1 count. Archer comes to the plate. That is a soft liner. It gets by Bryant into left field, and the Orioles have a lead-off single off the bat of Ruiz. Alberto will now bat with runner on first, and a pop-up to left field. Baez goes out, but he drops it. It looked like he tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch, but it bounced off his glove. Score that as an E6, and the Orioles now have runners on first and second, and the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch from Archer. Fly ball to straightaway center field. Almora goes back. He catches it on the warning track. The runner on second is going to tag up and head to third. Now the Orioles will send Rondon up to the plate. A critical situation for the Orioles if they're going to get back in this game. There is 1 out, runners on the corners. Archer trying to work his way out of his first serious jam in the game. 0-1 count to Rondon. There's a ground ball to third. Bryant to Fletcher, but there is no relay to first as the double play is broken up. The run scores. The Orioles have cut the lead to 3-1. Now with 2 outs and a runner on first, Iglesias will bat. 2-2 count. And there's a ground ball to short. Baez over to Fletcher. Retires the side on the fielder's choice. The Orioles do score a run and make this game 3-1. We go now to the Cubs half of the 6th inning, and Baez will be the leadoff batter. He is 1 for 2 with a 3-run shot in the 1st inning. And Baez strikes out swinging on a 1-2 fastball. 1 down now for the Cubs, and Schwarber the batter. And he will face a new Oriole relief pitcher, left-hander Richard Blyer. With an 0-1 pitch, Blyer looks in, gets the signal, and he comes to the plate. Schwarber hits it on the ground towards second base, field in deep second base or short right field. But Schwarber is thrown out at first for the 2nd out. Bryant will now bat against the lefty Blyer with a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Bryant grounds it to second. Actually, the first baseman is the one that fields it. He throws to the pitcher covering first. And the Cubs are retired in the top of the 6th inning. Mancini will now bat against Archer, who is beginning his 6th inning of work. The Cubs are still leading 3-1. 1-1 count. Archer with the pitch. Fly ball to center field. Almora's going back, but he should have room. And that is the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning. Archer will now pitch to Stewart with 1 out, nobody on, a 2-0 count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Baez with the diving stop, but he is unable to get up and make that throw to first. He hangs on to it. Stewart has the infield single. Rushman will now bat against Archer with One runner on. Rushman represents the tying run with one out in the bottom of the sixth. 1-0 count. And another steal attempt. The throw goes down to second, but this time Stewart will be safe. That's his first steal of the season. Orioles now have the runner in scoring position, and the ground ball double play is no longer in order. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. There's a single up the middle. That is going to score the run. The runner rounds third coming home. He slides in safely on the RBI single by Adley Rushman. Cubs now lead 3-2. Archer now batting to Nunez. Archer now pitching to the batter Nunez with one out, runner on first in the bottom of the sixth. 3-0 count with the pitch. And he is walked. You'll see how long David Ross is going to leave him out here. Oh, there's the relief pitcher, Brad White. David Ross's favorite reliever to bring into the game. White is now pitching. He will face the lefty Ruiz. The Orioles are attempting to come back. They have runners on first and second and one out in the bottom of the sixth inning. White really needs a ground ball in the infield. Here's the pitch. That is popped up to left field. Happ goes back, and he catches it on the warning track. The runner on second does not attempt to advance as the throw goes into the cutoff man. The Orioles now have two out, and Alberto is the batter in the bottom of the sixth inning. Tying run standing on second base. 0-1 count to Alberto. There's a ground ball to short. Baez fields cleanly, throws to second. Pulls Fletcher off the bag a little bit, but their side is retired. The Cubs hang on to the lead at 3-2. Contreras will now be the batter. The Cubs will send 7-8-9 up in the top of the seventh inning against the lefty Blyer. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a single right up the middle for Contreras. Nice piece of hitting there. Just shoot that one right back through the box. And Hayward will now bat with Contreras on first in the top of the seventh inning. 2-2 count to Hayward. Another hit right up the middle. If the Orioles had had the shift on there, they would have gotten a double play, but they have elected not to put the shift on against Hayward because apparently the shift only works if the guy hits the ball regularly. Contreras is now on second. Hayward is on first, and Almora's the batter. The Cubs trying to add to a 3-2 lead. 1-0 count with the pitch. Ground ball to first. It looks like the only play is at first base. Blyer covers and retires Almora for the first out of the inning. Hayward advances to second. Contreras advances to third. Happ will now stand in on the right side against the new Oriole reliever, left-hander Tanner Scott. He comes into this game trying to hold the Cubs to a one-run lead. 2-2 count now. Scott with the pitch. And Happ strikes out swinging on a pitch that is low and away. Fletcher is now the batter. Cubs need to try to add to this lead. Scott still pitching for the Orioles. 0-1 count. That's going to go up the middle, but the center fielder is going to make a diving play to rob Fletcher of a potential extra base hit. The Cubs do not score despite getting two men on, and we go now to the bottom of the seventh inning. Cubs nursing along a 3-2 lead. Brad White will continue to pitch for the Cubs in the bottom of the seventh. 0-2 count. White looks in with the pitch. And he strikes out Diaz for the first out in the bottom of the seventh. Rondon was now the batter against the lefty White. 1-1 count. White looks in. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center field. Almora is coming in. He is going to make the catch for the second out. And White will now pitch to the batter Iglesias, the Orioles leadoff man, with two outs in the bottom of the seventh. White looks in. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right field. Hayward tracking, and he gets there for the third out. White retires the Orioles in order in the bottom of the seventh. We go now to the top of the eighth with the Cubs still hanging on to a 3-2 lead. The Orioles will bring in another relief pitcher. This time it is lefty Paul Fry to face the lefty Rizzo to lead off the top of the eighth inning. Fry looks in. He brings the pitch. And Rizzo flies to right field. Right fielder coming in, and he makes the catch. Mancini for the first out. Baez now the batter against the lefty Fry. 0-1 count. And there's a ground ball to first, which Nunez is going to pick up and run to first. He'll win the foot race with Baez for the second out. Lefty Schwarber will now bat against the lefty Fry. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the eighth inning. Schwarber skies it out to right field. Plenty of time for the right fielder to get under that one and retire Schwarber for the third out. We go now to the bottom of the eighth with the Cubs having a 3-2 lead. The righty Brandon Morrow will be the pitcher for the Cubs. He has thrown 6 2/3 as the Cubs setup man. Walked 4, struck out 1, but with a 4.05 ERA. He will face the Orioles 2-3-4 batters here in the bottom of the eighth. Full count. Morrow looks in. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Baez fields, throws to first, and 1 down in the bottom of the eighth inning. Stewart now the batter from the left side against the righty Morrow. 0-2 count. Morrow brings the pitch. And that is a swinging strike 3, but the ball gets away from Contreras. He has to throw down to first to complete the strikeout, which they do. 2 down now for the Orioles in the bottom of the eighth, and Rushman the batter. Full count to Rushman. Morrow with the pitch. Ground ball to short. Fletcher scoops it up, throws to first, and Rizzo squeezes it for the third out of the inning. The Cubs now come up in the top of the ninth inning with a 3-2 lead, trying to add to it here. Bryant will be the leadoff hitter for the Cubs in the top of the ninth. 2-2 count. Bryant looks in, looking for his pitch. And he swings and misses on the changeup. The new Oriole pitcher, right-hander Harvey, strikes out Bryant to begin the ninth inning. 1-2 count now to Contreras, and Contreras swings and misses. The Orioles have to throw down to first as the catcher drops it to complete that strikeout. And now Hayward is the batter with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the ninth inning. 0-2 count to Hayward. Here comes the pitch. Swings and misses on a pitch that is up and in. Hayward is retired for the third out. And now the Cubs will bring in the closer, Kimbrel. He has thrown 4 innings, no runs, no hits, no walks, and 8 strikeouts so far this season. Kimbrel will face 5, 6, 7 batters in the Oriole lineup. 2-2 count, bottom of the ninth. Nobody out. Kimbrel with the pitch. Strike 3, swing and a miss on a fastball at 96. Kimbrel retires Nunez to lead off the ninth inning. Ruiz will now bat with 1 out and nobody on, and an 0-1 count. Kimbrel brings the pitch. Ground ball to Rizzo at first. He runs over, touches the bag for the second out. Cubs now need 1 more out to complete this victory. Kimbrel facing Alberto with a 1-1 count. Kimbrel looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to third. Bryant picks it up, but there is no throw to first. It actually gets by Bryant over to Baez, but Alberto makes it to first base on the infield single, and now Diaz is the batter. The Orioles staying alive with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-1 count. There's a ground ball to Baez up the middle, and he again holds on to it, does not even attempt to make the throw. I don't know where Fletcher was. He should have been covering second base, and he seemed to be MIA on that play. It seems like the flip to second would have been the play to end the game, but it didn't work out that way. The Orioles now have the tying run on second base, and Rondon is the batter. 1-2 count. Kimbrel, and he throws a fastball at 97. Rondon strikes out looking to end the game. The Orioles get 2 base runners, but ultimately they fail to score, and the Cubs secure a 3-2 lead. The Cubs have 3 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. The Orioles 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Our player of the game is the Cubs starter, Chris Archer. He throws 5 1/3 in a fairly pedestrian line of 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Wyke gets a hold, Morrow gets a hold, and Kimbrel records his 5th save. Despite allowing 2 hits, he also gets 2 strikeouts. The Orioles, it turns out, had 3 casualties on the pitching side. Alex Cobb was injured. He has a tired arm, and he is out for 3 weeks. Tanner Scott is injured. He has a dead arm, and he is out for 3 days. And Brad Wyke has a sore back, and he is day-to-day for 1 day. The Orioles use 7 pitchers to get through this game and ultimately lose 3-2. The Baez 3-run home run in the first inning makes all the difference in this game. Thank you for listening. That is Replacement Player Baseball.